You're watching Me, Him, and You. I'm me, Monica Eng.
I'm him, Wen Huang.
And I'm you, Linda Yu.
I'm a half Chinese, half Puerto Rican American.
And you, Linda?
I'm all Chinese. I was born in China, but I came to the United States when I was not quite 5 years old.
I'm a real Chinese. I was born in China and raised in China and came over here at the age of 24.
And we're going to take you along on some of our eating adventures and other types.
Yeah, I guess we all love food. And
We do. We definitely do. But what are we starting with?
Today is a special day for the Chinese all over the world. We call the Mid-Autumn Festival or the Moon Festival. It's August 15th on the lunar calendar, of course. On this day, we invite family and friends over for a nice meal and for mooncakes. It's sort of like Thanksgiving. It's a time when all family members get together. As you know, it's in the fall. It's celebrating harvests, and except we don't have turkey, but we have mooncakes.
And we have lots of other kinds of food too. Most Chinese celebrations have lots of different kinds of food.
Right. Just like with any other gatherings, you have you invite family and friends. You cook all kinds of chicken, fish, and duck, and especially duck is very important, sort of like turkey. So, and then one of the staple food for Moon Festival is mooncakes.
Okay.
What is a mooncake?
There are two different kinds of mooncakes, very popular kind. One is called the Guangzhou style mooncakes.
That's from the south.
From the south, from your?
From the Cantonese region. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one is from Suzhou, near Shanghai. This kind, the one we have, with very elaborate the designs on it, it's kind of sweet crust. And then inside, normally, it's meat. As a Cantonese, they have turkey.
What?
Yes,
really?
It looks like a dessert, but they have turkey, they have fish,
Wow.
and the different kind of meat inside. I'm not particularly fond of that. But for Suzhou style, and they normally it's more, they look different sometimes. And then they also have meat, but fresh meat. And also, a lot of the people in the north, we have mooncakes. It's actually, this type is red bean paste. Okay. So,
But Monica and I think, only knew that it had the bean paste with egg yolks, because I always said I love them if they have at least 2, maybe 3, and sometimes 4 egg yolks in them, right?
And they're
Right.
usually salted duck
And they're
egg
salted,
yolks. So
right.
you would take the egg and you would soak it in a brine for at least a week, and then you would take the yolk out. It's sort of preserved, and you throw away the white. Oh, well, Chinese wouldn't throw it away. They would
right.
eat it.
we
Use it for
wouldn't,
something
we
else.
wouldn't throw away anything. But the yolks reminds you of the moon, right? That's why sometimes you have 1 or 2. But I think a lot of Cantonese, they like to have 2 the yolks. And we Northerners, sometimes we have a lot, mostly, I guess very boring, have red bean paste.
So
It's a
this
kind of,
is
it serves
just-
as a dessert.
This is just bean paste inside.
Right.
Something else.
So that's
Right.
azuki beans that are ground and mixed with sugar and then turned into a nice paste.
Right. And
Tastes like chocolate almost.
right. And now here, I was very surprised that today I went to buy some of the things. And I went to the Chinese stores, and pretty much you can get a whole box of it, or you can, sometimes you go to the Chinese bakery, you can buy individual ones. And this one I got an individual one. There's a durian inside.
Oh,
the
the
fruit.
durian is
Yeah,
Really?
yes, look at this
Southeast
one.
Asian
You can,
fruit that's
Right.
spiky on the
Right.
outside.
Yeah.
It sort of tastes sweet, but smells like old socks and
That's right.
motor oil.
right, but
does.
try see it. And this one's actually from Taiwan. That my friends came last night. They sent me this very elaborate things that you have.
Durian?
Yeah, the terrible smell.
Is it really?
You smell like the motor oil. So do you see how beautiful that is? What does it say on top, Wen?
It's a durian and yolk.
Okay.
It's beautiful
Okay.
I thought it was
character.
going to say
It's
like,
beautifully
have
done.
It's not the
some
Happy
over
Moon
here.
Festival or
Yeah,
something, but
I
it's
hate to
not.
cut into it for 2
Right.
reasons. One, it's durian inside and it smells terrible. And 2, it's
Right.
beautiful. Right?
Yes, it's gorgeous, and the actual molds for mooncakes, people pass down. A grandmother will pass it down to her granddaughter, and they're often wooden and carved by these artists. And then you lay in the dough, and then you put in the filling, and then you wrap it, and then you smush it down,
Right.
and
So
you
that
make
it
sure it's
gets
nice and
all of the
oiled. So you get this beautiful design on here.
Right.
It's gorgeous.
See, a lot of people in China right now, they buy from the store. But a lot of people choose to cook it at home, to make it at home. But they don't have this elaborate design, but most of them they use, it's like a cake with meat in there. It's so rich. One time my IE's brother sent her some from North Carolina. I had one, it was so rich. It seems like for a whole day I didn't eat anything else.
So like fatty pork? What do you have
It's
inside?
pork and turkey, and
Wow.
it's so good. It tasted great. I heat it up in the oven for 15 minutes, and it's very crispy. The crust, and then so rich. But this is more like
gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful?
yeah. We normally, Chinese, we don't have a lot of dessert, but on the Moon Festival, and families, you get together after meal and you eat the moon cakes. And you crack sunflower seeds and have tea and then just gossip and sit around the house and then watch the full moon.
Full moon.
Right.
And you need, Wen was saying, I have to bring tea, and Monica and I were saying, I don't know why we need tea, but when you think about how rich the mooncake is, you realize, yeah, you do. You cannot eat a whole mooncake at one time.
They're so dense.
They're very
with
right.
filling.
Right.
Another very popular filling is lotus seeds.
Right.
So, the lotus flower, then they have that pod, and inside are seeds that are almost like garbanzo beans. And then you would boil them and then create a paste and put some sugar in there. And it's this really wonderful, sweet, slightly starchy thing.
Right.
I see a lot of these
These
come
are
from
gorgeous.
hotels, and people say, oh, the Peninsula Hotel mooncakes are the best. What is up? Is there like prestige attached to certain mooncakes?
Because hotels in China right now, they're mostly run by Western companies like the Sheraton, Hilton, also large hotels. They have beautiful places there. They normally produce high quality food. People, when they have wedding or they have special occasions, they would go eat at the hotel. And then a lot of the hotels, they start to make they have their own brand of mooncakes. In a few years ago, they produced these expensive mooncakes with beautiful packagings, and people use that to bribe government officials. And in recent years, because of the anti-corruption drive, and then
I have to try that in Chicago.
right, and then the mooncakes, the prices have dropped quite significantly because the government has very strict rules. You cannot gift expensive mooncakes to people. And also sometimes, we have fortune cookies you open up, but the people who bribe them, they sometimes stash cash underneath the mooncakes and give to them. So you need
rather than baking them in the mooncake.
Right,
Would that be
beneath
great?
it. Yeah. If you go to the stores, if you buy the package, there's this beautiful.
You just happen to have one on your lap.
Yeah, I just have it. I was ready to talk about this. And then this beautiful woman with the moon.
In the background, yeah.
Yeah, in the background here. And then there is, because the Moon Festival, that's the origins of the Moon Festival. About 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, there was the world is very, very hot because we had 9 suns scorching the earth. So the 9 suns made people's life very difficult. The rivers dried up, and then people were dying of starvation. And then this warrior came up, and then he was a great archer, and then he went out and then shot down the 9 moons. How many did I say? 9?
Nine suns.
so-
9 suns, and then shot the 8 of them. So we have 1 left, and then suddenly Earth returned to normal again, rivers start to flow, and then crops start to grow. And people were very, very grateful to him. So the emperor, or we call the god of heaven, and decided to reward him, and then so they give him an immortality pill. And he had the pill. He didn't want to take the pill. Because he had a beautiful wife at home called Chang'e, and then so he decided to put the pill away and locked up in the bedroom, waiting for the special occasion, so both of them could become immortal.
Like each of them could bite half of it.
Right. One version said that because he was so busy helping people outside, his wife was just like the housewives there. She was so lonely, and she was also so jealous of his success. So one day when he was away, and she accidentally took the pill, and then after she took the pill, she realized that she was floating upward. The next thing she knew, she was high up in the sky, and then she landed on the moon.
On the moon.
On the
That's
moon.
her.
That's the
And
picture.
that's her.
Right. And there was another version saying that she didn't steal the pill, but there was a bad person who was very jealous of the archer's success and came to grab the pill. And then the wife was home, didn't want the pill to be stolen. And then the two got into a fight, the fighting. And then she, in a moment of panic, she took the pill, popped the pill into her mouth. And the next thing she knows, she just
either way, she was up.
She was up in the sky, and then she was landed on the moon, and then had the heavenly God had a lot of pity on her, and then built a big palace. And also on the moon, there was another.
Oh, someone to have pity on me too.
Right, he give you a big palace.
So instead of a man on the moon, there's this beautiful lady in the moon, right?
The lady in the moon, and then there was a man there who was a warrior that he was banished to the moon by the heavenly God because one day he was drunk, and then he accidentally killed somebody. His job there was to cut the laurel tree. So there was always, if you look at the moon, they said there was a palace and woman. Also, there was a laurel tree,
right.
And then laurel tree is each day he has to go and cut the tree, and then he turns around he'll cut off the branches, but when he turned around, the branch grow back again, and then it shows that that's the symbol of life on Earth, meaning like each time death takes one life at the birth of a new baby. So that's what's on there. And also there's another creature on the moon. It's the jade rabbit. That's why a lot of people here, they eat this white rabbit candy. It's these are the three creatures on the moon. So for example, on Moon Festival night, if you look up at the moon, you will be able, people say that you'll be able to see like a palace or a woman and a jade rabbit and the laurel tree. And
I've only seen the tree.
You only see the tree?
Yeah,
okay.
we'll have to see the tree. We'll have to
Right.
look, right.
And then also because some people, they drink laurel wine because of
and laurel is bay leaf for anybody who wants to know.
Really? And some people say it's a cinnamon tree, so I guess you just drink. Is there a cinnamon wine?
Laurel is really cinnamon wine. You can have a cinnamon club.
Drink enough, right? If you drink enough, then you'll see all of those things.
All those things, I guess, you know.
So there's another story where mooncakes played a part in history, didn't they? Monica, you know that story.
Yep, I sure do know that story. It was during the Mongolian invasion of China. The soldiers needed to get a message out to everybody about the time and date of their rising up against the Mongolian invaders. And so how'd they do it? They spread it through these little mooncakes that had a little message inside, kind of like a precursor to today's fortune
cookies.
And they got it, and I don't know my Chinese history that well. Did they get the Mongolians out?
Yes, and then the rebel leader who started this insurrection became the first emperor of what is called the Ming Dynasty.
Oh,
there you go.
So that's one version of the story.
Great story, too.
Yeah.
So now finally, you said that there is a song that children sing, all right? That
a poem.
A poem that children recite.
So because during this time is very Moon Festival is a time for family reunion, and a lot of the families in the old days when children they're far away, they couldn't get home for the festival. So the idea is that when you look at the moon, the whole world or wherever you are, you share the same moon.
Okay.
And then so every child can remember a very sentimental poem about the moon.
Okay, so let's finish with this, all right? So do you want to...
Are we going to taste?
We're going to taste, okay.
Well, just wait after we finish the story and you can eat as much as you can.
Okay, so you want to do one line and I'll translate it?
Okay, I'll read the whole thing and you can read it all day. I'll read in Chinese, so it sounds very good. When we were kids, we can all memorize this. 窗前明月光，疑是地上霜。举头望明月，低头思故乡。
And what he said was, I wake and moonbeams play around my bed, glittering like hoarfrost to my wandering eyes. Up toward the glorious moon, I raise my head, then lay me down, and thoughts of home arise. So it's going home again.
Right, it's all the part about reunion.
Right,
And it's
okay.
like Thanksgiving, right?
All right. Now we're
Families
gonna
get
try.
together.
We're gonna try.
So
Right.
now one of these has shark fin and lapchong.
Yeah, it must be a
Supposed
southern
to be.
Cantonese dish because, yeah,
In there.
this one, the good ones, they have this one. And then this one is like a fruit cake.
Like fruitcake? Really?
Yeah, it's a fruit and yolk inside.
Okay.
And this one has lapchang and
So it's all mixed in. I
chocolate.
thought
All
like
in
one
there?
was going to be fish and then one was going to be
It's a
sausage.
when you go get the box, you get a whole box of them and then different flavors. And sometimes I would recommend people go
Can we
to
cut one
the
more open?
bakery and buy the fresh ones because one time I bought from the Chinese store there
From a
was
certain store called Maya that shall remain nameless.
Oh, see, so
And what
there's-
happened when you tried? You got it home. It was full of mold. You tried to return it, and what did they say?
I just walked out and noticed the mold, and I went there. They wouldn't return it. I guess because they must have imported from China somewhere for a long time. So when you go and buy these mooncakes, you got to be very careful and check it. Open the box before you take it home.
So I can see. Okay.
It looks like so. It looks like there's fish and sausage and cashew and almond all in one.
All
It's,
in
it's
one.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
everything but the kitchen sink in this one.
Right.
I don't know if it's
So
going to
this
taste
is very
good.
different from the mooncakes that I know.
Yeah, I'm used to sweet.
I like my the red bean paste.
You're a northerner,
Uh-huh.
and I should like that, shouldn't I?
It's very, very good. This is fresh made up. I bought from a bakery here on Argyle Street in Chicago. But in New York and Los Angeles, and you can get it from every store, not only supermarkets, Asian supermarket or grocery stores, and also even some of the Chinese herbal stores.
Have
You
them.
they sell these and
bakery. I have to say, I don't love this.
Me neither.
It tastes like a fruitcake. And
Fruitcake.
when I was in Hong Kong recently, I was tasting some mooncakes made with French butter and Perrier water. And the gentleman, he's a longtime producer of the most famous variety show in all of Hong Kong. He's gotten into the food and wine business. He said, this is the one mooncake you will not regift because it's so delicious.
Because everybody regifts them.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah, everybody brings you this beautiful box and say, thank you, I love it. And then you give it to your neighbor or your colleague.
that's what your
Right.
family used to do?
And then he gives it to his friend.
That's because around this time, everybody gives
Exactly.
these beautiful boxes. I mean, not only are these gorgeous, but the boxes also are beautifully done too. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we're done because we want to eat now, right? Okay. See you next time.
Happy Moon Festival.